Lauren Moses here with WNBA expert Maggie Hendricks of Bally Sports. We'll be bringing you all of the stats, the storylines, and players to watch out for this highly anticipated 2023 WNBA season. This is Bally Sports in the Paint. Maggie, let's get started. How excited are you for this season?
Oh my gosh, it hasn't been that long since college basketball, but also it has felt like it. So I'm ready to see some real basketball, see the WNBA, and I just see it all go. You know, I saw an exhibition game last weekend. It was great, but I want the real thing.
The real thing. So let's start with Atlanta Dream. Last season, they went 14-22. They missed the postseason, had a new head coach, and so I don't know if the expectations were that high, but they had some big changes in this offseason, bringing in some veteran talent in Alicia Gray and Danielle Robinson. What do you think the GM and coach's standpoint on bringing those two vets in were?
Well, I think they see that they have a young team. You know, when you have one of your most important players is Ryan Howard, who was Rookie of the Year last year, who we'll talk about more later on, and you have another great round of rookies coming in, you realize that you need some veteran leadership. And Danielle Robinson has been around the league for a long time and is a known quantity as a really good leader. Mm-hmm. So I think that was part of it. And I mean, Alicia Gray, that woman can play defense and they need some defense. And so, I mean, it just made a lot of sense to make that move.
Yeah, I think those are two really great choices. You think about Danielle Robinson having some experience with Coach Wright during their time in Vegas, and then Alicia Gray. She's from Georgia, so you have to think that that's going to be a really good relocation spot for her, not only on the court, but also off the court. And then you talk about that youth. They drafted Haley Jones of Stanford, Leticia Amahir from South Carolina, and Leah Brown from Michigan. What can you say about their length, their ability to score in different ways, and just what they can bring to Atlanta?
Well, I do have to say, I just got an email that says they traded Leah Brown to Connecticut. So this is the way the league works, particularly this time of year. Yeah. But still, Haley Jones and Leticia Amahir, like, we know that they both bring size. They both can score. We talked about Haley Jones a lot during college, right? About her being a guard with the body of a forward. And I think that's like exactly what the WNBA is kind of moving towards. So having these very athletic players play guard and just the height and the speed she has, I think it's just going to be really fun to see them play. I mean, there's going to be growing adjustments. There always are for rookies, but I really think they had one of the best drafts. And I'm excited to see how that goes.
And everyone in Atlanta, they were very excited, specifically about Haley Jones. Her and Ryan Howard have some time playing experience on the USA basketball circuit. And we talk about one of the most important players on this Atlanta Dream is Ryan Howard. She was the 2022 Kia WNBA Rookie of the Year. She got 53 of the 56 votes. Maggie, there was not a lot of room for improvement, but when you just look at what she was able to do as a rookie, how much do they really need from her again? Is she going to have to score 16 points, almost 5 rebounds per game? Will she be able to take another position or maybe take some pressure off of herself with these young and new players? What do you think this season looks like for her?
I mean, she knows that so much of what the team does is going to be revolving around her. And look, she went in the offseason, she played in Italy. And I believe she was on the same team as Marina Mabry, who's now with Chicago. Like, she really pushed hard and pushed to grow who she was as a basketball player in the offseason. And you hear nothing but great reports coming out of Italy about her season. So I think she knew that while she was great last season and was the Rookie of the Year, we all know that's not enough because they didn't make the playoffs and they didn't hit that goal. And it's been a while since Atlanta's been in the playoffs. So I think it's important. And she knows that. And in the Dream, something that's really impressed me about them is how they're all on the same page as their coach. You hear them speaking the same language as their coach. It's almost like a college situation. And so you hear that out of her. Yeah. She knows what's expected of her.
Yeah. And, you know, they dealt with some injuries, and we'll talk about that in a second. But last season, she, you know, led all WNBA rookies in points, assists, steals, minutes per game. She scored in 11 games. She had 20 or more points. I mean, she definitely just created some space with her competition around the league. And so I think she also feels that pressure that she is going to have to step it up a notch because now everybody knows her MO, right? But let's talk about having an injury-ridden season. That's hard for any team in this league, especially when you're about to face a team like a New York Liberty or Las Vegas Aces or even Dallas Wings. What do teams look for to kind of rebound after a season like that when you lost some time of building that chemistry up?
Yeah, I think when you see everything coming out of their camp and coming out of their training camp, you can see that that's like exactly what they're working on. It's building up that chemistry, building up, how they know each other and how they can trust each other. And even like when things like when Cheyenne Parker showed up after her season in Italy, seeing how the team reacted about that coming together, like those to me are those good signs. So they're the warm and fuzzies that tell you that this is a team that is excited to spend time together off the court, which generally helps things on the court.
Yes. And Alicia Gray, also a player who has dealt with some injury throughout her WNBA career. But like you said, she is an elite defender. Elite defender. I think her alongside Ryan Howard, as well as McDonald, Robinson, I think that guard group can really intimidate some competition. I'm excited about what she's going to bring because she's one of those players who it doesn't matter. She doesn't really allow anyone to stop her. The only time that she isn't able to produce is when I think she gets into her own head. But I think she's really underrated.
Oh, I absolutely think she's underrated. She probably should have made the All-Star team last season. Alicia Gray, and in Dallas, it seemed like she just never quite found her niche. And Tanisha Wright knows that and knew that, and Dan Padover knew that when they were bringing her in. And they understand what she can bring to a team. So I feel like this is going to be Alicia Gray's big coming out year, for lack of a better term, her big year that like we all get to see and know what she's capable of, because it's just such a good fit of player and like needs. Yeah. So I'm really excited what we're going to see, and also that she's going to be playing very close to home. She's going to have a very loud crowd wherever whenever they play in Atlanta, and Atlanta's crowds are already on fire. So like, I can't even imagine how much crazier it'll get, but it will.
And every time Alicia Gray talks to any reporter, she always talks about her family. She always talks about the support and love that she's had from them since she was a kid up to college and now in the WNBA. So I know that will be great for her. But Atlanta Dream, they have Naz Hillman, they have AD, they have Parker. They have a roster that they can really build up. Talk about chemistry, you talk about them just having the willingness to go out there and start winning some games. I think this could be the turning season for them, and I know that they are also hoping that as well. But that is Atlanta Dream. Make sure you tune in to watch their 2023 season on all of our platforms, and stay tuned on Bally Sports as well for In the Paint coverage of our other teams.